All along, we believed that Mitch Marner would be a Golden Knight and land in Las Vegas. It comes to fruition. It is official. Mitch Marner is a Vegas Golden Knight. More after this on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, you've heard of eBugs. This is an ePod. It's an emergency podcast. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. We appreciate you tuning in. This, again, is our special edition on the signing of Mitch Marner on a Marner Monday, which we might have to continue like every Monday for now the next 8 years. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick, and yes, I am a longtime sportscaster and a marketing consultant and the host of Believe in Vegas, that new podcast. Chris Golick is the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports, collectibles editor for the Hockey News. This special edition is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. Check it out. VGK now at odds of 10-1. Go to FanDuel.com. So, Chris, long awaited. It's been over a year. Much anticipated. Wanted Marner a year ago to join the softball team. They needed a right-handed stick in that lineup. Finally, once and for all, 8 years, $12 million. Can you say steal? Because that's what I believe. This is a great deal for Vegas Golden Knights fans and the team.
I mean, Nick, wow, 1-for-1 for Mitch Marner. How about that? That's the other side of this. That's pretty remarkable. Just trying to contain my thoughts a little bit here and not go completely off the rails. It's exciting. The Golden Knights, I think we feel, were a superstar away last season and beyond. Good team, not good enough in the playoffs now. This is where the Toronto naysayers are going to talk about Mitch Marner in the playoffs and his deficiencies, even though 63 points in 70 games. But this is when the Leafs fans are going to start telling us that, the joke is on the Vegas Golden Knights and their fan base. And this is where I remind everybody, remember Jack Eichel, guys? Remember Jack Eichel? In Vegas, we were concerned about Jack Eichel. Forget the rest of the NHL laughing at the Golden Knights when that trade happened. In Vegas, we were concerned because of what we heard, what things were like in Buffalo and the toxicity and everything going on.
The injury, too. I mean, this is a much different deal because Marner comes in.
He's prime.
In his prime, and he's healthy. And Eichel was a huge question mark. Let's face it. Going through the surgery.
Health and off the ice.
And the off the ice issues, which it couldn't be further from the truth here, but he just needed that change of scenery. So,
and the Golden Knights locker room, unfortunately, almost certainly sans Alex Pietrangelo right now. But the Golden Knights locker room is pretty steady as far as the right amount of leadership. They're not going to let Marner not be accountable for his actions on or off the ice. No different than Jack Eichel or Brendan Brisson or Nicolas Roy. A moment of silence for Nicolas Roy. Everyone's going to be held to equal accountability. You're going to see a better player of Mitch Marner. You're going to see a better version of Mitch Marner. And now the fact that it's him and Jack Eichel for a long time. Well, Eichel, I'm assuming, will get an extension this week, but we know Marner's going to be around for a while, and it's another new era of Vegas Golden Knights hockey who keep finding ways to reinvent themselves. This is why we're never going to talk about the draft right here.
It's another reason. And also, we're not going to talk anymore about tampering charges because it was
no, that would have been on the table. They got Nick Waugh. He greased him.
Had to be a sign and trade. They wanted some sort of a return, even if it was minimal.
They screwed themselves out of Nick Hague.
They could have had both Waugh and Hague, I think. Yeah. I don't know what happened. We'll try to find out behind closed doors. But you were telling us on this morning's regularly scheduled pod there, decentralized podcast, you were saying, Marner, there were sightings of him in town this weekend. And you're not going to comment anymore. You just go,
no. Marner was in town very recently. And then I heard he went even a little bit farther west after his weekend trip here. And obviously his trip out west wasn't maybe as much business as it was pleasure, I guess, locking this thing down.
And again, with Kelly McCrimmon, you and I never had any doubt that this was going to happen. This is the most certain I think I've ever been, and the most excited I've been for any player, because I just think he's that.
Tony, stop being excited. People are gonna even hate you more now.
I think they're going to get mad at me for being excited about Marner. But I think if there were tampering charges,
Tony's a babyface now.
If there were tampering charges, you and I would have been mentioned there. They would have charged us as well. But if, Kelly McCrimmon, I compared him to Paul Lind and that center square. And as soon as they started to say, oh, LA, oh, Anaheim, oh, even San Jose, oh, McCrimmon at his best there for the block as the center square. He had to block out all that other competition. There's no way that, the city of Las Vegas, right? And the Golden Knights, there's no way that they would have failed in their attempt to get Mitch Marner. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I mean, Marner or bust. I mean, I think you were kind of the leader of that one right there, and I've started all Marner in for Monday. Marner and everything. And
Marner or bust, Marner Monday. I don't know.
I mean, listen, it's the concern that I had coming into the 25-26 season was more of the same. VGK just goes out and finds the new version of Victor Olofsson. You hope another Pavel Dorofeev, comes out of the roster, and whatever happens with the defense and the Golden Knights, maybe they're a top 2 or 3 team in the division, and they do what they do in the playoffs, likely a first or second round exit, and we'll get them next year, boys. Well, no, that didn't happen. That definitely didn't happen. Kelly McCrimmon wants to flip the script on the entire NHL and going out there and get Mitch Marner, and it's just so funny watching the Twitter meltdown right now. I mean, Leafs fans can't have it both ways. Like, Leafs fans they couldn't wait to dump Marner on the Golden Knights, but then all of a sudden now it's tampering. So they want to get something out of it. Like, just shut up. You can't have it both ways. You either want Marner or you don't.
Right. So they did get that return. They did.
They got Nick Waugh. They're good, dude. They're good. They got Nick Waugh.
There was another report while we're at it here about Rasmus Anderson's preferred trade destination, the Golden Knights.
Everybody wants to come to Vegas. It's why the nightclub right now.
They do. Well, once you get a Marner and an Eichel, I think you're going to get a ton more free agents that want to land here. They want to be here now that you have those two megastars. They really are superstars, potentially 2 100-point plus performers this upcoming season. I'll go on record and say Eichel's over-under is 101 and a hook, or 100 and a hook, somewhere in there.
202 and a hook for the combined entry.
I like
for the
that.
1A for the 1 and 1A entry.
I like the entry. We'll take the entry there. But is there one more big deal on the way? I don't feel as though VGK is done. I don't think they're done.
I just saw Mark Stone walking out of the hospital the other day. No, I'm kidding. I mean, listen, you never know. I
saw him walking out of a Sprouts the other day.
I know you saw him. Was he in crutches or an ankle?
No, he's taking photos, selfies.
I mean, listen, Kelly McCrimmon is going to he's never going to be satisfied with the roster. And that's how any GM should have viewed their roster. Of course, different GMs are at different places with their teams, but the Golden Knights are thinking it's not Marner or bust anymore. It is now Stanley Cup or bust for this season. With an Eichel, with the Marner, with the defense is what it is right now. We'll see if there another piece gets added or not, but it went from Marner or bust to Stanley Cup or bust.
Wow. Pretty interesting. And again, after we saw the news, it kind of solidified things once the trade went down, Haig, and then in that deal, Colton Sissons. And now we find out that Nashville has absorbed half of Sissons' salary. How do they get away? How does this organization continue to fleece people in the manner that they do? And so once Sissons comes along,
the criminal plan,
Waugh now expendable, great career in Vegas, but I still feel this is an upgrade. And I know the fans are disagreeing with me, but I really do think, again, with that experience and almost 300 or over 300 more games played there by Colton Sissons, I think that is a big deal for VGK. Coming up next, where will Mitch Marner slot in? We'll get to that as we return on this special edition, this E-Pod, if you will, of Locked On Golden Knights. Summer sports right now are in full swing, and whether you are all about baseball under the lights, you've got golfing on the green. I know Summer League Hoops is coming up, high-stakes soccer action, and if you want a piece right now, VGK on FanDuel, 10-1. And you're already following the action. Why not make it even a little bit more thrilling with FanDuel? You can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the Ultra Pool. So I've been using FanDuel to track all of my favorite matchups, and the apps keep it fresh with new daily promotions and a lot of fun in different ways to make your bets. Of course, whether you are placing a same-day parlay or watching a bet ride into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes it feel like you are part of the action. And right now, if you are new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back on this E-Pod edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We appreciate you always making us your first listen every day. And of course, whenever the big news breaks, we are there for you. I'm right here at the big house behind me at T-Mobile Arena. So can't wait for them to get going. All this news, Chris, it breaks in the middle of development.
We're not talking about the draft. What? Development camp?
Could you imagine
hard-hitting segments?
Could you imagine out there and the buzz that is suddenly created with all of these young players on the ice, and now they're all probably chomping at the bit to join the NHL team, right? Now that they have these superstars both on the same team. So the big question, and we've kind of discussed this before, is where now will Mitch Marner slot in?
Everyone is saying top line Eichel, Marner,
I am.
And Dorofeev or something.
Dorofeev. Like oh, yeah. Jeez Louise.
I don't agree. You have two pass first 100-point potential players. Now, putting them on the same line will create room for one another. But is it overkill? That's the question that I ask. So I would love seeing the Eichel, Stone, and Barbashev line, assuming Barbashev survives this week. That's not a given.
No.
But for now, Barbashev is still with the Golden Knights. And then now your second line becomes some combination of Hertl, Marner, and Dorofeev goes from right to left. I like having two stacked lines so the Golden Knights can attack in waves. Because you still got the Brett Howden line centered by William Karlsson, most likely.
Thank you.
And Riley Smith on that line. And then Colton Sissons. Let's go. Keegan Colasar and whatever else is going to happen on that fourth line. So attacking waves. But again, this is where now the Golden Knights can take a page out of the Edmonton Oilers book.
The Oilers, yeah.
When you need to load up on that top line, we need that hero line out there. Shove Eichel and Marner together, and whoever's on the left wing, make sure they got a shot.
I think 20 or more points came from Mitch Marner on the power play unit. And so what will that unit look like now with QB1, Shea Theodore, or will it be Rasmus Anderson?
So that's the thing. I mean, this is a concern, actually.
I don't think
crazy as this sounds.
I don't think you heard that. Okay.
Rasmus Anderson, did you say?
Yeah, I kind of
I heard Rasmus Anderson.
Okay.
We only got 20 minutes today, bro. So this is where a decision needs to be made. This is where Eichel better be working on his faceoffs all summer, number one. Because if Eichel is going to move up from the left elbow to the centerman on that, now Hertl is not out there. I mean, who are you sitting on that unit? Hertl or Mark Stone? Because it's not Eichel, it's not Dorofeev.
It's Hertl. Yeah, it's Hertl.
So Eichel better get his faceoffs over 50%. Then that's the concern.
He better get that improved. What do you have any idea? And I hate to put you on the spot. What Marner is in the face-off circle?
He's a winger, so he probably took under 100 faceoffs last
He
year.
didn't take a ton of them, I'm sure. But I'm just curious, how he fares in there. And then you do have the luxury of either Hurdle, who could still be gone, this week.
Mitch Marner, lifetime
Stone.
42.9% in the faceoff circle.
Okay.
Took 34 faceoffs last year. He was a hot 29.4%.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Okay.
So that ain't happening.
So that's not going to happen. But that power play unit now, I believe, is more potent when you have Eichel. Does Eichel now shoot more because he has someone on that power play unit? Or does he try to finesse it again? I think this is something as well. I think they probably sold Marner, hey, you can just shoot the puck on net at any time. You have like the green light, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's all about time and space. And if the time and space is there, you shoot, plain and simple. If it's not, you pass. And we're talking about, I believe, the second best regular season power play unit. So not much needs to change. But again, in the circle will need to be addressed. And to be fair, that could take care of itself throughout the season. There's going to be injuries. Mark Stone, and we'll see how he fares throughout the season. Dorofeev had a little injury issue last year. So we'll see if this even matters or if it just kind of takes care of itself right there. But Hurdle not being on that top unit seems to be the likely casualty. I mean, are you taking the captain off the top power play unit? I don't know.
I don't think so. No.
You need that bumper presence.
Yeah. And this year we'll see what changes they make. And they're going to have to build this offense around Eichel and Marner. They're going to have to build it. If he's retooling, if Cassidy is retooling this offense, those two have got to be able to, you have to free them up so they can take those shots for sure. VGK also extending qualifying offers to 5 players today. Lucas Cormier, Alexander Holtz, one of your favorites, Raphael Lavoie, like the way that rolls. Jonas Ronbjorg, he'll be returning perhaps, and Cole Schwint. So those are the players. Schwint is not going to progress here in his VGK career now because you have Sissons, and we'll see where they put him. I mean, another backup guy perennially for the Golden Knights. But those are the qualifying offers that are out there for the Golden Knights. And then pretty much, are there any scraps left? Where will this put VGK against the salary cap? That is another big question because they're still going to have to shed some space along the way.
Salary cap is a good discussion right now. As of right now, not factoring Nick Roy and Mitch Marner, Golden Knights have 2.186. You take Nicolas Roy out of this equation, that's $3 million, I believe. So now we're at 5.1.
And now
so the Golden Knights are at about 8.8. It's about $13 million. So
yeah, the 8.8 puts you over the top there.
It puts you over the
top. Give them 12, and you have $1 million left. And then who could they sign for 600, 700,000 or whatever that might be?
Well, and that's the thing. You talked about those qualifying offers and everything. You see who signs what, if any offer sheets play in, if the Golden Knights decide to work on longer deals, because the offer sheet just kind of gets the process going, or not the offer sheet, but the qualifying offer. Now they can negotiate other types of offers and things like that. But all the players that you mentioned, I don't believe one of those players would likely matter as far as the cap, because they would be AHL players, 2-way deals. And then if they work their way up to the NHL, it's because someone else is hurt and it's not good. It's a non-starter. So $1 million gets nothing done. Long story longer, but this is where you wonder if they do something with Barbashev and they go for
I think there's one more left. Like I do. I'm starting to believe that there's one more deal left for the VGK.
Isn't Rasmus like $5 million though? And he wants to, in his extension. I mean,
yeah, I would not be surprised if Hurdle's moved after they mentioned that he has 3 teams that he can select now with the modified no trade clause. So that's something to keep an eye on. And then, when you're talking about Mitch Marner, similarities, right, abound between him and Jack Eichel. And Eichel, like, again,
they got you, Jack
guy
Eichels
in the locker room. Right. But remember here that Eichel, before he came to Vegas, can't win the big one. He's won nothing. What has he done? comes here, wins the cup. So again, you have Marner who can prove himself here in Vegas and show that he's a winner. And I just keep getting so many texts and all sorts of messages about, oh, you don't want that guy because he's not a winner.
Not a winner.
Well, he could become a winner here in Las Vegas. So.
Michael, we talked about this in the first segment. We're not going to regurgitate all that, but what I will remind everybody in my closing statements today is the Golden Knights have awarded 2 Stanley Cups on T-Mobile Ice in 8 seasons. 1 to the Golden Knights, 1 to the Washington Capitals. Great run by the first-year team. That same team has also been in the conference final 2 other times. 4 Pacific Division banners.
I don't know which
flirting with the best record in the NHL multiple times. So you know what? Kelly McCrimmon knows a hell of a lot more than your general manager. Sit back, watch the show, get some popcorn because the Golden Knights are going to be a thorn in your behind for a long time.
And of course, your season tickets, the value goes skyrocketing now.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to make some money this year. Let's go.
All right. We appreciate everyone tuning in. When are we going to return? Tomorrow morning?
For my dang AHL tickets now. I'm getting my butt kicked on.
Are we going to do a regular show tomorrow?
I'm sure they'll sign Rasmus Anderson with our EPOD tonight.
Okay. We could have another EPOD coming your way.
3 more podcasts.
Thanks so much to VGK for not doing that news dump here at 11 o'clock tonight.
Hockey news really fast tweeted out. It happened exactly at 5 o'clock. They're calling it a news dump because they're based on the out east.
Oh, they did.
They did.
See, and my friends were making fun of me going, how did you know they were going to do that? I go, that's the MO of the Golden Knights. We appreciate everyone tuning in. We could see you tomorrow morning. We could see you if more big news breaks. We appreciate you tuning in, especially our everydayers, and especially those who are watching and listening to this EPOD. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow or next time right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Until then, please take care.